and gentlemen, please welcome the Executive Director of the NG911 Institute, Wesley Wright.
Hi, good afternoon, at least on the East Coast. My name is Wes Wright, and I'm the Executive Director of the Next Generation 911 Institute. Thank you for joining us at the 18th Annual Honor Awards, kind of live from your house. If you're not familiar with the Institute, we are a not-for-profit 501c3 organization. We were founded in 2003, and our mission is simple. We're here to serve the Next Gen 911 caucus by acting as a broad educational resource to members of Congress and their staffs. We don't lobby for legislation, but we do hold regular lunch and learns and regularly meet with congressional staff throughout the year to explain the importance of NG911 and of adequately funding the country's NG911 infrastructure. The caucus is growing and it has more than 85 members. It's chaired by Senators Klobuchar and Burr and Representatives Eshoo and Hudson. We're actually going to be hearing from 2 of the 4 later in the presentation, so that's pretty exciting. I'd also like to take a quick opportunity to thank our sponsors. None of what we do, none of the education, none of the outreach, none of the awards where we honor recipients for their great work throughout the year, none of it would be possible without our sponsors. We're going to be hearing from several of them throughout the presentation today, but I want to thank all of them for enabling us to do what we do throughout the year. While we're talking about the presentation, it's clearly different this year. If you're not familiar with how we've done it in years past, we typically host an annual honor awards one evening during Nina's 911 Goes to Washington festivities. The next day, we come back to Capitol Hill for a technology showcase. And the technology showcase highlights for members of Congress, Hill staff, some emerging technologies that promote NG911 and help public safety. We obviously cannot meet in person this year, but we wanted to try and at least pull off both of these important things. We certainly wanted to honor our award recipients and also provide an update on some emerging technologies. So we've combined the two into a single afternoon. You're a part of it now, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you to Nina for allowing us to have our presentation during their virtual 911 Goes to Washington. And one other thank you before I turn it over to Kathleen Slattery Thompson, the Institute's Deputy Director. I wanted to thank our board. We have a volunteer board. I couldn't do this without them. The board is chaired by Peter Beckwith of South Sound 911. Our vice chair is Angel Arocho of Comcast. And we have monthly board meetings we've conducted via Zoom throughout the year. I appreciate the board's help. I appreciate their patience, their insight as we've navigated the past year. We've pulled off some pretty cool events, hopefully culminating in this one. But next February, I look forward to being back in person on the Hill with all of you. So thanks for your patience through this challenging year. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the baton to Kathleen. I hope you all enjoy our virtual event, and you're going to be hearing from me again shortly.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathleen Slattery Thompson, and I'm the Deputy Director of the NG911 Institute. I'd like to echo Wes in welcoming all of you and thanking everyone for joining us today. I'm so excited to celebrate our award recipients and to learn about emerging technologies in the 911 space. I'm especially thrilled to introduce our first presenter, 911 Wonder Woman. This group focuses on building connections between women in 911, and I cannot wait to hear what they are up to. Without further ado, here is 911 Wonder Woman.
Hi, I'm Chandy, Chair of Women in 911, a NINA alliance formed by the partnership of public sector and private sector companies, and led by a board of amazing 911 leaders, including Monica Million and my fabulous co-presenter here, Sarah Weston.
Hi, I am Sarah Weston. I am the founder and executive director of 911 Wonder Women.
Hey, so WIN, our mission is to advance women in 911 through leadership development, education, networking, and mentoring opportunities at all levels of their careers. We have some fabulous free offerings, which include quarterly webinars, a mentoring platform, scholarships, happy hours, networking, blogs, podcasts, in-person events at NINA, APCO, etc., and forming partnerships with several other organizations. So I'd love to welcome you to join us, become a member at nina.org, click on membership, and select Women in 911 Alliance. Or if you have questions, send it to win@nina.org.
Awesome, Shandy. And it's so great to be a part of WIN and what they're doing. So many exciting things. 911 Wonder Women is a nonprofit, and our mission is to strengthen and support the women of 911. I was inspired to start 911 Wonder Women because early in my career, I didn't have access to a lot of women mentors. And as I progressed in my career, I got to meet some fantastic, amazing women and, saw what that did for my confidence in my career. So I wanted to bring that together with the amazing women that we have in the 911 centers and in the industry. So we work with dispatchers, we have industry partners, we have state leadership, federal leadership, and we're trying to bring programming, mental health resources to the women of 911. We also want to take this time to recognize that there are amazing 911 Wonder Women on the Hill, and not all of the champions are in the center. So we want to thank you for everything that you do and how you advocate for 911 and telecommunicators as a whole. And we love telling you about our initiatives and want to recognize you for your amazing work. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks to all those fabulous 911 dispatchers and everybody who does give their heart to 911. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hank Kilgore, Assistant Vice President, Government Affairs at CTIA. As you all know, today the majority of calls to 911 come from wireless devices. And our ability to call for help, no matter where we are, has helped save many, many lives. Over the years, the wireless industry has committed significant resources to enhancing our nation's 911 system, including through location information, text to 911, and real-time text. And CTIA continues to play its part by evaluating the most current and innovative location solutions through our testbed. We are all committed to ensuring Americans can quickly get help when they need it most, and we are proud today to introduce a long-standing leader on public safety issues and NG911, Senator Amy Klobuchar. The wireless industry has been proud to work with her on numerous public safety issues, including the development of the Stolen Phone Database. In Congress, Senator Klobuchar's support for the 911 professionals and PSAPs has been unwavering, and we applaud her continued focus on providing more support for PSAPs as emergency response officials upgrade to NG911 technologies. As co-chair of the Congressional NG911 Caucus, she has truly helped lead the charge to modernize our nation's 911 systems. The NG911 Institute couldn't ask for a better, more effective advocate on Capitol Hill, and it is my honor to now welcome Senator Klobuchar for her keynote address.
Hello, I am so glad to be with you at the annual 911 Honor Awards, virtually of course, but we hope soon we can be together. These are difficult times, so I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our 911 professionals who are the brave men and women connecting people in need with life-saving emergency services in real time and protecting us all during this devastating pandemic. You have gotten so many more calls, so many more responders had to go out. Our nation's 911 systems process more than 240 million 911 calls every year. And it is because of you that Americans are connected to their own communities, all while you risk your safety by coming to work during this pandemic. As a former prosecutor, I know how important it is for our first responders, law enforcement officers, and public safety leaders to be able to communicate seamlessly during times of crisis. We certainly know this in my home state of Minnesota. On August 1st, 2007, the I-35W bridge collapsed into the Mississippi River, killing 13 people and injuring many more. Literally just 6 blocks from my house. And as I said that day, our bridge should not just fall down in the middle of America. During the first 2 hours after the bridge fell down, the Minneapolis Emergency Communications Center received and processed over 500 calls, 51 of which came directly from the scene of the disaster. There were 77 men and women at the Minneapolis Emergency Communications Center who took those calls, who directed the response, who helped get those responders to the scene. They executed a coordinated response that made it possible for first responders to get to the bridge and get people to safety. There were literally dozens and dozens and dozens of cars submerged in the water, and yet 13 people dying is tragic. So many more would have been lost if not for all of you. And as co-chair of the Congressional Next Gen 911 Caucus, along with Senator Burr, I understand how incredibly important your work continues to be and the need to modernize the outdated nation's 911 system is. That's why I will be reintroducing the Next Generation 911 Act with my colleague and friend, Senator Cortez Masto of Nevada. This legislation creates a federal grant program to help state and local governments deploy next-generation 911 systems all across the nation. These upgrades will enable 911 professionals to handle text messages, videos, and other information sent by smartphones, tablets, and other devices that are used in an emergency. In a crisis, no one should be put in danger because of outdated 911 systems. Telecommunicators, first responders, public safety officials, and law enforcement, you must all be able to communicate seamlessly. This legislation will ensure that we have a modern system for emergency response communications. For me, this was personal. We had a police officer in our state that was killed by someone, and literally as the murderer was loose, it turned out there were like 8 different systems that were trying to connect. And that's when we realized we had to make major changes in the county where I was a prosecutor. We did that, but there are still issues all across the country. Last Congress, my bill was included in the House Infrastructure Bill that passed the House in July 2020, and I'm working tirelessly to ensure that it is included in the major infrastructure bill that Congress is expected to consider very soon. Telecommunicators are vital to public safety, and it's important that your job classification reflect the life-saving work that you perform every day. That's why, along with Senator Burr, I introduced the bipartisan 911 Saves Act to recognize the vital role that telecommunicators play by reclassifying them as protective service workers. We all need to work together to equip our public safety leaders, 911 telecommunicators, first responders, law enforcement officers with the tools that you need to succeed in the 21st century. I'll continue working to do that. To all the incredible 911 professionals in the audience, know that I'll be fighting for you in Washington so we can be prepared to make the good fights, to face those challenges head on together. Enjoy the rest of the awards ceremony. You deserve it, and I can't wait to see you soon. As we know, we just heard, as many of you may have gotten the vaccine because of your jobs, but many of you haven't, and we've heard there will be enough available vaccines by May of this year for every adult in the nation. I'll see you after that. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thanks to Senator Klobuchar for those wonderful remarks. Also to Hank and CTIA for the warm introduction. It's now time for the part of the show that got you guys to come here in the first place. So we're going to kick off the awards, and the first presenter to introduce an award recipient is the CEO of NINA, Brian Fonts. Take it away, Brian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Fonts, and I'm the CEO of NINA. I also have the great honor of serving as a board member to the NG911 Institute. It is in that role that I am here today to award this year's Government Leadership Award to Jerry Jaskulski, a well-deserved government employee. So I'd like to just give you a little bit of information about Jerry. I think you would agree with me. This is a very good reason why he received this award, so bear with me. Jerry has been instrumental in supporting the efforts of the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Office of Emergency Medical Services, the National 911 Office in these roles to publicize the features and benefits of next generation 911 technology and services to local, state, territorial, federal, and tribal governments across the country. He was a volunteer detailed to the 911 office. His full-time job is as an employee with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, CISA. During his time with the National 911 Office, he took concrete steps to foster collaboration between CISA and the 911 Office. He worked in implementing the 911 grant program, conducted an NG911 implementation cost study, and enhanced relationships between and among local, state, tribal, and territorial 911 authorities and the 911 Office. Jerry is a tireless crusader for 911 and next generation 911 service. He fully understands the benefit, not only to government, but to all of us. So Jerry, I just want to say thank you very much for your role as a government leader and for your continued support for next generation 911. Thank you very much. Take care.
Jerry Jaskulski's full-time job is in the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. But he's broken new ground as a volunteer for the National 911 Office. Realizing that no federal ECC had adopted NG911 infrastructure as its operating architecture, he set about helping to publicize the features and benefits of next-generation 911 technology and services to local, state, territorial, federal, and tribal governments across the country. He took concrete steps to foster collaboration between CISA and the National 911 Office, working on implementing the 911 grant program, conducted an NG911 implementation cost study, and he enhanced relationships among local, state, tribal, and territorial 911 authorities and the National 911 Office. He also helped develop and promote a plan for how the federal 911 ECC PSCC community can keep pace with the technological transition at the state and local level throughout the country, while building a clear understanding of the capabilities the federal government brings to bear. Congratulations to the 2021 Government Leader Award winner, Jerry Jaskulski.
All right. Well, as I mentioned before, we are combining the Honor Awards and Tech Showcase this year. It's exciting because not only are we able to honor all of our wonderful award recipients, but we're able to hear from some of our sponsors about some pretty cool new and emerging technologies and other current events that are going on in the NG911 space. So I'm going to turn it over to our first Tech Showcase participant, AT&T, and John Matusik.
Welcome to the NG911 Technology Showcase. My name is John Matusik, a member of the AT&T Next Generation 911 product team. My focus is on NG911 PSAP solutions, providing call handling to dispatch capabilities, and how to bring further valuable data and content to increase situational awareness and improve public safety outcomes. I will introduce you to the AT&T forward-leaning vision with the integration of cloud-based services and IoT solutions to further equip 911 centers and first responders with local and state government for the welfare of the communities they serve. Lastly, why ongoing funding will be critical to advance these goals as we move beyond the initial migration to ESINet and NG911 capable solutions to support that goal. There are three learning outcomes I will highlight for our vision of the data-driven NG911 PSAP of the future, and how we extend similar capabilities for other governing agencies and use cases relevant for public safety and beyond. Secondly, I will provide a high-level view for AT&T's Emergency Communication Solutions, ECS, to address these goals. The interoperable ecosystem prompts the needed attention for funding in leading the way to smarter and safer communities. So let's set the baseline. The work and migration to NENA i3 based on ESINet and NG911 call handling is just that. Funding must continue to support these initial goals, and NENA i3 standards will continue to evolve, requiring further advancement there. The details of this NG911 realm is not my focus here today, however. Instead, let's look at what comes next and requires additional funding for the evolution to cloud-based NG911 services and the use of IoT to further assist the PSAP to better serve their communities. These drivers are certainly not specific to public safety, but the goals are quite similar. So how do we define the data-driven PSAP? First, it is NENA i3 enabled, ESINet GIS location-based routing enabled, NENA i3 compliant NG911 call handling enabled, northbound MIS and CAD solutions also NENA i3 ready. Migration to the cloud is next. The data and services required will come from the cloud. The PSAP, as we know it, moves to the cloud as well. ESINet connects to the cloud, and the PSAP is connected securely and with reliability to the cloud. The backroom is virtually eliminated. Administrative lines also move to SIP trunking, VoIP-based solutions, also from the cloud. This movement from CPE to cloud-based services can be independent of IoT integration, but will come nonetheless. Upgrades for new services are simplified to the next login. IoT integration adds further data capabilities that make the PSAP more efficient in responding to emergency events, be it calls, texts, or other alerts. I'll highlight just a few examples from the categories shown here. So looking at personal sensors, you have health monitors, which allow visibility of first responders that they may be in distress that can directly alert the PSAP of needed support. Building management, for example, door monitors can alert the PSAP of a potential break-in or security risk. Flood, temperature, fire monitors can do similar. In video intelligence, the same citywide cameras can be used to assess traffic management and provide eyes on the street before anyone can arrive to the scene. This information can be shared to first responders, either via dispatch or by sharing the same video streams to them real time. Smart lighting. This provides a platform to deploy a variety of sensors, including video intelligence cameras. For the city local government, it provides cost savings by controlling and turning the lights off when not needed. From the PSAP, access to environmental and acoustic sensors can alert 911 centers of hazardous conditions. With perimeter surveillance, this provides the ability to implement soft geofencing for airports, airfields, or where command and control requires a temporary boundary to monitor and enforce. And this just scratches the surface. There are literally hundreds to thousands of IoT devices that can perform any variety of functions that the PSAP may find beneficial in managing each 911 event. Which brings us to the AT&T's vision for Emergency Communication Solutions, ECS, powered by the Integrated Command Center, or ICC. Combining NG911 with cloud-based solutions with a suite of select IoT solutions at the PSAP and for other personas and use cases. To make this viable, there must be some IoT aggregation point or single pane of glass to manage and monitor the variety of IoT content and events. For AT&T, we are productizing the Integrated Command Center to act as the IoT aggregation point for this. Purpose-built from federal and DoD requirements for cybersecurity and with controls for roles and privileges to the various personas that may use the tool. But it's not just to service the PSAP. The ICC can be used for a variety of personas. For incident commanders, it can help to manage both personnel and physical resources needed for the desired and appropriate response that you are working real time. For fusion centers, where video intelligence and video analytics can provide key evidence. For larger cities, monitoring traffic flow and performing engineering of traffic lights and doing so accordingly. For the EOC, to dispatch needed support vehicles and other assets to respond to that large emergency, and to manage emergency boundaries where you need to keep people out. For the school campus, like extending monitoring of video intelligence and building management sensors to the school superintendent and local security to ensure the safety of the campus and students or personnel there. So how do we tie this all together? AT&T ECS looks to our 4 key factory pillars to provide the combined approach for public safety and first responders. NG911 and IoT-enabled ICC aggregating IoT-related content. The 4 pillars of ECS include NG911, FirstNet, proper interop between the NG911 data-driven PSAP with first responders, sharing and use of same IoT content as it serves their needs, aggregation of FirstNet delivered IoT content back to the PSAP and other personas and use cases, with FirstNet providing the network devices and applications in support of these goals. And then with smart cities and IoT focus, as we've been discussing the variety of IoT sensors and content that can be used within the PSAP in support of next emergency event and dispatching appropriately. The cloud, and for AT&T, our Microsoft Cloud Alliance. Functionality resides or moves there. IoT delivery emanates from various cloud implementation sources, whether it's Microsoft Azure, AWS, IBM, etc. We know that cloud is the key and will hold a lot of the IoT data that we need access to. So in closing and tying back to needed funding, these 4 pillars of content and platforms will drive the need for ongoing NG911 related funding for many years to come. With FirstNet, we are planning interoperability to help visualize new data being provided. For NG911, NENA I3 Rev 3 will be ratified, driving the need for further investment for migration to the evolving standards. Migration to cloud-based services for faster enablement of these new services and change to OpEx from prior CapEx models with needed reliability and cybersecurity as the key requirement. And our focus here, IoT enablement for the PSAP, local government, and other personas and use cases. So thank you everyone for your time today. I hope it provided some insight on our vision of NG911 and beyond and how AT&T views IoT as the next key need for enablement in the PSAP and for public safety ongoing evolution. If you're interested in and would like to hear more about AT&T Emergency Communication Solutions or the Integrated Command Center, please contact your local AT&T Public Safety Solutions or state and local government and education account prime. Thank you so much for your time today.
Good evening. My name is Susan Ornstein. I'm Comtech's Senior Director of Legal and Regulatory Affairs and a member of the NG911 Institute's Board of Directors. Tonight, I am proud to present the Institute's annual award for 911 industry professional. Each year, this award is presented to an individual for their professionalism, leadership, diligence, creativity, and initiative in solving a critical 911 issue. This year, the award for industry professional goes to Kevin Murray, founder and executive chairman of Mission Critical Partners. Kevin began his career in public safety as an emergency medical technician and later became a leading consultant to public safety agencies across the country. In 2008, Kevin founded Mission Critical Partners with a commitment to delivering innovative solutions to help public safety agencies deliver improved emergency response outcomes. In the past year, Kevin has focused on how public safety organizations can better utilize the vast amounts of data that is made available through broadband technologies to filter out only actionable data that will improve emergency responses. Kevin has also championed the Lean Emergency Communication Center philosophy, which aims to create efficiencies within an emergency communication center by removing extraneous steps in a center's work process, thereby allowing the center to meet national standards with their existing personnel. The ultimate goal of this process is to save lives, reduce errors, and provide higher quality citizen experiences. As Kevin has explained, the idea generally is to leverage the center's available resources more efficiently to enhance the quantity and quality of what is being accomplished. Congratulations to Kevin on being awarded the Industry Professional Award for this year. Thank you.
Kevin Murray is the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Mission Critical Partners. Since beginning operations in 2008, the firm has provided consulting service to more than 1,500 agencies nationwide, with a singular focus on helping agencies improve emergency response outcomes. He began his career as an emergency medical technician and later became a leading consultant to public safety agencies nationwide. Recognizing that there is exponentially more data available now than ever before due to broadband technologies, his company is focused on filtering information to expose only the actionable data that will improve the emergency response. He champions the Lean Emergency Communication Center philosophy, with the goal not of reducing the number of telecommunicators or supervisors, but creating efficiencies within an ECC, allowing the center to meet national standards with its existing personnel. This process ultimately saves lives, reduces errors, and results in a higher quality experience for citizens. Congratulations to the winner of the 2021 Industry Professional Award, Kevin Murray.
Congratulations, Kevin. What a career. It's a real honor to be able to present this award to you as part of the NG911 Institute. So thanks for all you've done for public safety. I want to turn our attention now back to the tech showcase component of this. And our next tech showcase presenter is the Institute's longtime sponsor, GeoComm. So you're going to hear from John Brzezowski with GeoComm, and enjoy the presentation.
Hello, my name is John Brzezowski, and I'm the VP of Innovation at GeoComm, a leading 911 GIS company in the United States. I hope you are enjoying the 2021 virtual NINA Goes to Washington event. I will miss attending the NG911 Institute Tech Showcase in person this year, but this is still a perfect opportunity to talk about current developments in 911 mapping and GIS. And since GeoComm is a mapping company, I thought what better way to provide an update than by sharing a story map, a technique from our GIS platform partner Esri that uses the power of maps to communicate ideas. You know, as the nation begins to realize the benefits of NG911, new capabilities and opportunities to integrate more and more data into the PSAP are emerging, and this trend is impacting GIS mapping as well. New types of geospatial data can be very useful for understanding location and streamlining emergency response, but with it comes new questions. Where does this data come from? How do you know you can trust it? Is the data available and supported 24/7? What types of additional geospatial data are the most useful to 911 and emergency response? Well, at GeoComm, we've been thinking a lot about these questions over the past year, and as a result, we'd like to introduce a new concept we call Public Safety Location Intelligence via a short video clip. One of the additional map data types that we're focusing on this year is indoor maps. Mapping 911 calls indoors has always been challenging. We know that today close to 80% or more of all 911 calls originate from mobile phones. We also know that the average U.S. citizen spends 80% of their life or more indoors. But now, thanks to work well underway in the industry, we are finally getting better and better indoor 911 positions for mobile phones. But to make those positions truly actionable, and not just a blue dot on an otherwise blank whiteboard, we need to start mapping the geography of the indoors. But where to start? Well, this is a map of all of the buildings in the United States. It was generated by Microsoft, who used machine learning and artificial intelligence to extract building footprints from aerial and satellite imagery of the US and Canada. That identified over 125 million buildings in the United States alone. If we zoom in on this map, we can begin to see these buildings. Each one of these gray boxes represents an indoor space, a building. collectively often a vast and unknown geography that our nation's 911 telecommunicators, dispatchers, and emergency responders must deal with on a daily basis. So let's take a look at how indoor maps can help. Well, many of you are familiar with maps that look like this in your PSAPs. We see some streets, we see a 911 caller position, a callback number. If we zoom in, we get a little bit more detail. Not too much more detail though. Imagine if we had indoor maps though. We could begin to see building footprint information and perhaps even building interior information. So in this case, we can clearly see that this 911 caller is in the northwest corner of the auditorium of Mason High School, and there's a building entrance very near to the 911 caller's position. So how do we get indoor maps to PSAPs? Well, we are pleased to announce a multi-vendor partnership between GeoComm, Esri, and RapidSOS to do exactly that. Soon, RapidSOS portal users will be able to use an app launcher to display a GeoComm map viewer powered by Esri's new PAS, their platform as a service. This GeoComm map viewer contains, among other things, indoor maps like we just looked at. Beyond indoor maps, we will be bringing additional dynamic map layer content to PSAPs as well, such as natural hazards, weather watches and warnings, hurricane tracks, wildfire detections, automatic defibrillator locations, and also site structure information, building floor level, and even elevation and 3D map information. But now it's time to wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this quick tech talk, and to learn more about how to add GeoComm public safety location intelligence to your 911 operations and applications, please feel free to reach out to me or anyone at GeoComm. Thank you, and have a great rest of the 911 Goes to Washington event.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Cohen, Chief Counsel at ACO International. I am very honored to present the Institute's 2021 Award for 911 Professional to Mr. Steve McMurrer, the 911 Systems Administrator for the Fairfax County, Virginia, Department of Public Safety Communications. This award recognizes a 911 professional from the public sector for their leadership, professionalism, initiative, creativity, and diligence in assisting a person reporting and/or experiencing an emergency or solving a critical 911 issue. In addition to being a neighboring 911 professional over in Fairfax County, Steve is a statewide and regional leader in fielding the early stage transition to next generation 911. He has contributed greatly to Virginia's NG911 related efforts in deploying emergency services, IP networks, SENets, and related functions. Steve has demonstrated his leadership by championing the effort to upgrade the Fairfax County recording system for voice, text, and radio communications. In addition, he developed an RFP and awarded a contract that was used by other jurisdictions across Virginia. He oversaw the first NG911 SENet cutover in Virginia and Fairfax, which provided the model that other jurisdictions have followed. He has arguably contributed more to the Commonwealth's transition planning to NG911 than any other individual. Congratulations to Steve McMurrer, and thank you for your service.
Steve McMurrer is the 911 Systems Administrator for the Fairfax County, Virginia Department of Public Safety Communications. He also is the statewide and regional leader in fielding the NG911 network for Northern Virginia, D.C., Southern Maryland. He has contributed a great deal to the Commonwealth of Virginia's transition planning to NG911. This leadership is demonstrated by his championing of efforts to upgrade the Fairfax County recording system for voice, text, and radio communications, developing an RFP for fulfillment, and then awarding a contract that was used by other jurisdictions across Virginia. He also oversaw the first NG911 cutover in Virginia, which provided the model that other jurisdictions have followed. He has arguably contributed more to the Commonwealth's transition planning to NG911 than any other individual. Congratulations to the 2021 Public Safety Professional Award winner, Steve McMurrer.
Hello, and welcome to the NG911 Institute Awards Ceremony. My name is Peter Beckwith. I'm General Counsel for South Sound 911 out of Tacoma, Washington. I also serve as chair of the NG911 Institute, which works with the Congressional Next Gen 911 Caucus to advance 911 services throughout the nation. On behalf of the board and Executive Director Wesley Wright, I want to thank you for joining us. I also want to give a special thank you to Nina for allowing us to participate in 911 Goes to Washington. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend, and one of the offices I visited was Representative Kathy McMurrer Rogers from Washington State, who serves as the ranking member on the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, and is also a member of the Congressional Next Gen 911 Caucus. As a fellow Washingtonian, it is my honor to introduce her as our next speaker.
Hi, this is Kathy McMurrer Rogers. Thank you for inviting me to join you at today's virtual event to discuss the importance of next generation 911. First, I'd like to start by congratulating all of the recipients of the 2021 NG911 Annual Awards for their outstanding commitment to public safety. Each one of you are leaders in public safety who dedicate your lives to keeping your community safe. And I thank you for your tremendous service. And today we honor you. As you know, the 911 system is critical to ensuring the safety and security of the communities in Eastern Washington that I represent and communities all across the country. From an early age, we are taught that when we're in trouble, we should pick up the phone and dial those three important numbers, 911. No matter what the emergency, when somebody picks up the phone to make that call, they should expect it to go through so that they can get the help they need. We cannot risk any 911 calls being dropped. Someone's life may depend on it, which is why it is so important that we continue investing in reliable communications infrastructure. The American 911 system is the gold standard, but we must continue to lead the world by continuing to make improvements. The 21st century has ushered in a new era in the digital economy. We must embrace innovation and implement new technologies to prevent our 911 system from becoming outdated. Maintaining and improving our 911 communication system is no easy task, but many states charge a 911 fee on our phone bills to help support the system and keep it operational for common good. Unfortunately, some states have been known to divert these important public safety funds to other projects, leaving our 911 communication system vulnerable to falling behind. Last year, the Energy and Commerce Committee passed bipartisan legislation to end this dangerous practice by directing the FCC to hold these states accountable for misusing this important funding for unrelated purposes. But we must do more. As lead Republican on the Energy and Commerce Committee, I'm looking for new ways to lead on this issue. I believe it's time for Congress to act and to facilitate a nationwide transition to next generation 911. I'm proud my friend and colleague Richard Hudson is taking over as the new Republican co-chair of the Congressional Next Generation 911 Caucus, and I look forward to working with him and our colleagues on legislation. Next Gen 911 will allow our public safety community to enter a new age of modern technology, and it will allow first responders to access location information during emergencies that can save lives. It will also introduce new tools to inform first responders by seamlessly integrating picture, video, and text into 911 calls. These are just a few of the new technological advancements that we must work together and get into the hands of America's first responders. My hope is that we can continue to work this legislative effort in a bipartisan way to ensure each and every one of our public safety officials receive the resources they need to do your jobs in the 21st century. The safety of our communities depend upon it, and I look forward to working with all of you to achieve this goal together. Thank you again to all of you who are here today. You are our heroes, and I thank you for your dedication. God bless you.
All right, well, thank you to Representative McMorris Rogers for your support of the Institute and your support of public safety and those wonderful comments as part of the show today. Also, thanks to the Institute, the chair of the Institute's board, Peter Beckwith. Thank you for introducing her. We're going to turn it back to the tech showcase component of the show, and you're going to hear from Jamison Peavyhouse with our longtime sponsor, RapidSOS.
Good day, folks, and welcome to 911 Goes to Washington, the premier event that puts us in front of decision makers to educate and influence them on how to correctly fund and operate 911 across our great country. I am Jamison Peavyhouse, a past president of NENA, but currently the Director of Customer Success here at RapidSOS. Over the last 25 years, I've had great opportunities to be able to serve our citizens both here in my hometown as a comm center director, throughout our great state of Tennessee, across the entire U.S. and Canada with NENA, and today being able to impact those calls for service globally with RapidSOS. I think back across all those years about all the different calls that I've had to work through, and I can say that 2020 ranks up there pretty high. Last year brought a very heavy spotlight to the importance of faster and more effective emergency response. That need for critical life-saving data was never more apparent than in our 2020 year in the comm center as we faced incredibly stressful incidents, COVID-19, civil unrest, our day-to-day call volumes, but also domestic terror threats like we faced here in Tennessee during the Nashville Christmas Day bombing. Now, throughout that entire year, data from the RapidSOS platform was used in over 150 million emergency incidents. We became the mission-critical link between citizens and the first responder when traditional 911 voice circuits were interrupted by major disasters and attacks. Today, over 4,800 ECCs covering more than 90% of the U.S. populations have access to life-saving data through the RapidSOS data platform. And we're honored to be your trusted partner. However, supplying that life-saving data to telecommunicators on the front line, it's not enough. At RapidSOS, we lean on over 400 years of combined experience of our public safety team. We want to ensure the data that we deliver to your comm center is timely, accurate, geo-referenced, and actionable by the telecommunicator. Our customer success team understands firsthand the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that may present itself when we roll out new technologies, new workflows, new integrations, and new data sources. Now, we at RapidSOS are committed to empowering your telecommunicators, not overwhelming them. Our public safety team reviews each new data feed through the eyes of a telecommunicator. The public safety vision extends throughout the 350 million connected devices we have today that are served by RapidSOS, but it's also forward-looking into new technologies that we're going to deliver here in 2021 and beyond. Now, our commitment to public safety includes NENA i3 compliant location information services, our additional data repository available in XML and JSON, the RapidSOS portal, jurisdiction view. It extends through industry-leading CAD, call taking, GIS, and logging recorder integrations. Throughout all of those different things where we supply data and information, RapidSOS is proud to be your trusted partner. Now, I hope you enjoyed NENA's 911 Goes to Washington, and again, happy Telecommunicators Week. We look forward to serving you throughout 2021 and beyond. For RapidSOS, I'm Jamison Peavyhouse, and we'll see you in the future. Have a great day.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Freeman. I'm the Director of Marshall County 911 in Benton, Kentucky, and a member of the NG911 Institute Board of Directors. This past year, our industry faced trying and uncertain situations ranging from the day-to-day operations to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many call centers faced numerous other hardships, but 911 and the hardworking professionals in the industry are very resilient and always able to forge ahead. I'm honored to introduce this year's outstanding call center, Metro Safe 911, a division of the Louisville Metro Emergency Services. With the current reintroduction of the 911 Saves Act, which if passed would properly classify the 911 telecommunicators as first responders, I would like to take a moment and briefly highlight a few of their accomplishments. I've had the privilege over my career in Kentucky 911 to meet many of the individuals that work in that center, MetroSafe 911, Kentucky's largest 911 center, services on average 1.5 million calls per year and employs over 200 people. On top of their already huge call volume, the COVID-19 pandemic further stressed this already busy 911 center. Ensuring the employees had a safe working environment and addressing staffing issues, which is no easy task during normal operations. Last year, the center also suffered damage from a fire, which displaced the operation. The most stressful of these circumstances being the civil unrest stemming from the shooting death of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor, which led to attacks on the MetroSafe 911 center itself. At one point, the staff could not leave the building for 12 days. If that's not the work of a first responder, I don't know what is. This year's NG911 Institute Honor Awards Call Center of the Year is Louisville Metro Emergency Services MetroSafe 911.
Louisville Metro Emergency Services, known locally as Metro, serves the residents and visitors of Louisville, Kentucky. It is comprised of several emergency services divisions, including Emergency Medical Services, MetroSafe 911, the Emergency Management Agency, and Metro 311. MetroSafe 911 has over 200 employees, receives over 1.5 million calls per year, dispatching police, fire, emergency medical, and other first responders. 2020 was a challenging year for Metro. Some of these challenges, like COVID-19, were shared with the rest of the country, but others were unique. For instance, a fire in their building caused by an electrical malfunction displaced the staff for a time. Metro also faced sustained social unrest following the fatal shooting of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor. Despite these circumstances, Metro has maintained operations seamlessly and continued to be a lifeline for the community. Congratulations to the 2021 Outstanding Call Center Award winner, Louisville Metro Emergency Services.
Well, congratulations to the folks in Louisville. Really appreciate all you did this year. We all faced unique challenges. You had some extra challenges on top of that and really rose to the occasion. So appreciate all you've done. We're going to turn it back to the tech showcase, but it's a little bit different than the previous presentations we've heard. Our sponsor, NGA911, has asked Budge Currier to give us a quick update on where things are going in the state of California with the next generation 911 rollout. We received an update last year as part of the tech showcase, and so excited to hear how much progress has been made and where things are going in the future. So turning it over to you, Budge.
Greetings from California. My name is Budge Currier, and I'm responsible for the 911 network in California. I wanted to thank this NGA 911 for this opportunity to address those that are attending 911 Goes to Washington, and specifically the 911 Institute. I'm here to share some good news with some of the things that have been happening in California. So if you'll give me just a few minutes, I'll provide an update of what we've been doing. We've been working very hard over the past year to deploy Next Gen 911 in California. And we've got some exciting news. I'm going to share my screen here for a second and show you a deployment that we're working on in California. We're excited that on April 14th, which is tomorrow, we will be doing our first end-to-end NENA i3 call in California. What I'm showing here on the screen is a diagram of what that call flow looks like. We're aggregating calls from T-Mobile across a variety of devices. They're being sent into Intelliquent, who's delivering them to NGA 911, one of our regional providers. And then they will deliver that information to the Tuolumne County Sheriff, and we will deliver the first true NENA i3 end-to-end call that we're aware of anywhere in the nation. So we're not relying on any legacy components. There's no anti-alley, there's no MSAG, there's no selective routers in this call flow. Everything is geospatially routed. We also have the ability to do support failover to Atos, which is our statewide provider, delivering and connected to every single PSAP in the state. So this is a huge milestone for us. We're extremely excited. We'll be continuing through the other regions in the state of California in the month of May. And those deliveries, the regional providers there include Lumen and Synergem. So we're very excited about this development. Clearly, it's been a long road. I know many of you have had successful deployments of ESI nets and other components of I3, but this will be like I said, the first that I'm aware of end-to-end NINA I3 call flow. So as we move through this deployment, it'll take us the rest of the year to complete the rest of our 450 PSAPs in the state of California, but this is a huge first step. So what's next? What do we do next? Well, we're looking at other technologies that we can bring into the PSAP. So once we build this NINA I3 Next Gen 911 system, we basically have built a superhighway. The next step then will be to bring in video and media and all these other technologies onto the superhighway. And we're working with the carriers right now for what those connections and interfaces would look like. The problem is most of our call processing equipment that's out there in the state today can't support all of these rich features in its current state. So essentially, it's like driving a Model T vehicle on this superhighway that we've created. So our next step will be to deploy cloud-based CPE throughout the network that will support all these rich data sources that we've been talking about for Next Gen 911. We'll begin those deployments next year. And then we'll begin to move down the call flow into CAD and implementing EIDO and an EIDO conveyance mechanism to make sure that once we get that information into the workflow for the PSAP, we can continue to move that data around. We're also working in the interim to deliver this data to our PSAPs, even if their call processing equipment or their computer-aided dispatch can't support it. One other thing we've done we'll be doing in May of this year, will be delivering automated crash data provided by OnStar using RapidDeploy to display this information in our PSAPs. And then we'll be bringing on the audio for that interface using a solution by NG911. This is just some of the ways we're trying to innovate in this space and bring these new technologies to bear. So we're really excited about what's happening. Obviously, there's a lot of exciting things going on in 911 today. We're working very closely with the legislation that's being worked on to provide funding that will enable us to move these projects forward and demonstrate these successes. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful time at 911 Goes to Washington, and I appreciate the few minutes that you gave me to share some of the things that we're doing in California.
Hi, I'm back to award the NG911 Awareness Award for this year's presentation. And the award can be given to anybody, an individual, an organization, a news outlet, anybody or anything that really promotes 911 awareness and NG911 awareness. And this year's award recipient is Amanda Lindgren, and I think it's richly deserved. Coming at it from my perspective, I have 3 children. My oldest is in 3rd grade. My middle son is in 1st grade. What Amanda did was focus on education and outreach to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders in her community. And it's an important issue. I've been at events where the acting FCC chairwoman has said that 911 is the first phone number she taught her children. So I think we all recognize the importance. And what Amanda did while faced with challenges that we all faced this past year of transitioning and adapting to COVID, she took her education and outreach virtual and really didn't miss a beat. So Amanda, thanks for all you've done this year. We really appreciate it, and this is richly deserved.
Early in the pandemic, as COVID-related lockdowns spread, Amanda Lindgren saw a need for a virtual 911 education program for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade students that can be deployed for in-person classroom or remote learning environments. She then helped to develop a 30-minute program teaching students when to call or text 911 and what to say to the dispatcher. The program is uniquely effective as it provides worksheets, a sticker, scented marker, and note cards to help young students participate in the interactive Zoom program. When it was marketed near the end of October, over 800 requests came in for packets to allow students to participate. She also used her video production and graphic design skills to create a 30-second public service announcement, encouraging residents to sign up for emergency alerts. And finally, she started a podcast in September 2020 called 911 Weight in Gold, exploring everything within the unique and complex world of 911. Amanda Lindgren demonstrates an extraordinary commitment to continually improving the 911 education programs that are offered in her community. Congratulations to the 2021 NG911 Awareness Award winner, Amanda Lindgren.
Congratulations, Amanda. Your outreach and education efforts are really inspiring to all of us, so really well done. We're going to now hear our last Tech Showcase presentation. It's a joint presentation from two longtime sponsors, OnStar and RapidDeploy, and they're here with an exciting announcement.
Hello, and thank you to the Next Gen 911 Institute for having us here today. I'm Mark Gramlich with OnStar.
And I'm Ryan Chandler with RapidDeploy.
We're going to talk to you today about additional data from automatic crash response from OnStar to RapidDeploy. We'll start today with this beautiful Camaro that's been crashed in upstate New York. General Motors acquired this vehicle several years ago and have it today to show to you. For those of you who work in the ECC, you know many reports from bystanders and non-involved reporting parties are not an accurate reflection of the actual needs at a crash scene. In this case, the damage and deployed airbags are blocking the view of the occupants, so you could understand how bystanders might expect the worst and call for police, fire, and EMS. The reality of this situation is that the two occupants were wearing seatbelts and no one was injured. The actual resources needed were a police officer for a report and a tow truck to clean up and clear the roadway. Looks can be deceiving, which is why additional data and a connection to the occupants is invaluable. We show you today the advisor view from OnStar. This is what they receive in an automatic crash response. You can see here there's quite a bit of data and information to take in. With this information in today's format, it's relayed to the ECC verbally once OnStar makes connection with the ECC. A lot of this data is important, but it's not a format where it can be utilized quickly to assist the needs of the occupants in the vehicle. So with RapidDeploy, we have a way now to share this data. If you look at the data transfer process, the automatic crash response comes in to OnStar with the location and the data that's sent. And today it's sent to the advisors, but you can see here that it'll start being sent to RapidDeploy. Ryan, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I think really the key for this exciting integration is it's all about surfacing that data to the telecommunicators in the ECC as quickly as possible. And in some cases, that actually means getting the data to the telecommunicator before they get the voice call that actually comes in to the ECC itself. You can see that on the diagram here. So that enables the telecommunicator to actually start acting on that data quicker than they ever have before, start preparing for the response, staging, or even dispatching resources prior to actually receiving the voice call. So it's a really powerful integration, and it's all about, again, getting that critical data about a crash event to the telecommunicators that are going to manage the response.
And Ryan, as you mentioned, that information is coming into the ECC, but the advisor is still going through the process to triage the call and understand what medical needs might be needed on scene, and the voice call will still follow to pair up the information that we have at the call center with the information that's being sent to RapidDeploy and shared within the ECC. It's also allowing them to make choices of what type of public safety apparatus is needed to assist on that scene. We'll take a look at some of those key additional data elements that are being sent. In this environment, we're speaking about California, and we're looking at what elements from the advisor view are most important and can now be shared through RapidDeploy. The location where the crash occurred will give a longitude and latitude. The incident number, so it can be paired up with the voice call. The incident receive time, the sent time, a vehicle make, model, year, and color, a specific engine type, if it's electric, a hybrid, or an internal combustible engine. Crash was detected, a high probability of severe injury indicator, airbag deployment indicator, principal direction of force, were there multiple impacts, and is this an autonomous vehicle? And two of those are very important, Ryan. The autonomous vehicle indicator, obviously if it's a self-driving vehicle, and the electric vehicle indicator, so public safety is aware of how to handle that vehicle when they arrive on scene.
And so what you see here is actually the RapidDeploy Radius Plus mapping application. And again, via this integration, we're able to provide additional data to telecommunicators quicker and in a more easily understandable fashion than ever before. That critical crash information, like Mark was referencing, around the type of the vehicle, the nature of the crash, but also the location of the crash, right? A reliable lat long of where that event occurred, packaging all that information up and presenting it to the telecommunicator in an easy to digest and easy to understand format, as you can see on the screen here, alongside the tactical mapping portion of the application to actually show them on a map where that event occurred. So combining that with the situational awareness that Radius Plus provides out of the box, additional map layers, traffic information, weather information, things of that nature, you really have a powerful tool to enable the telecommunicators to understand the nature of the event, the location of the event, what may be happening around the event, so that they can really prepare a response that's appropriate and get those resources dispatched to that incident, the appropriate resources dispatched to an incident, to a crash in this case, as quickly as possible, and so that those responders are as prepared as they can possibly be for what they're going to find on scene. So it's really an exciting step forward in providing real-time data to the telecommunicators in the field that are out there dealing with these types of crashes on a daily basis. And we're really excited about rolling it out in California and then moving forward and rolling it out in other parts of the United States as well.
With that, Ryan, I think it's important to note this is a first of its kind for sharing telematics data, in the sense that the ECC will now have that firsthand data available to them in a format that is usable. And that's what's most important. It's right there in front of them, and it helps them make choices that could potentially save lives or at least get resources on scenes faster.
That's exactly right.
Well, thank you for your time today. We're happy to discuss this further. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either OnStar or RapidDeploy. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello, I'm Eric Hagerson with T-Mobile, and I'm a proud member of the Next Generation 911 Institute's Board of Directors. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to present the Citizen in Action Award. This award recognizes an individual or group of any age who have demonstrated exceptional initiative, bravery, and/or heroism in responding to a crisis or critical time using 911. This year's award goes to a group of friends: Joshua Martin, McKenzi Vail, Derek Olivaro, Gina Roshell, and Jordan Jacobs. Last summer, this group was camping at Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia, when another one of their friends, Josh George, became unresponsive after laying down for a nap. Upon finding their friend unresponsive, they thought quickly to call 911. Ms. Jean Tregner, a communications officer for Bedford County Dispatch, answered their call, and after getting critical details from the awardees, directed them to start performing CPR. One complicating factor was that this group's location on the lake was unknown. Because of this, the group had to keep up CPR for 20 to 30 minutes in very hot weather, while dispatchers used GPS on the caller's phone to find them and then direct first responders on how to reach them. During this process, Ms. Tregner instructed them on how to correctly administer CPR and to take turns to keep from getting tired. When the fire department arrived, Josh had a heartbeat and was breathing on his own. He was transported to a hospital and released a few days later. In addition to this heroic act that saved their friend, this group has used the attention they've received to speak out about the importance of being trained in CPR. As someone who has been trained in CPR myself, I wholeheartedly agree. Again, congratulations to Joshua, McKenzi, Drreck, Gina, and Jordan for winning this award and their quick thinking. Without calling 911 and administering CPR, this story could have had a very different ending. Kudos to you all.
The Citizen in Action Award honors an individual or group of any age who has demonstrated exceptional bravery and heroism to respond in critical time using 911. This award honors a citizen or citizens who took the initiative to help in a crisis. That is certainly true of the group of friends who called 911 when one of their group became unresponsive on a camping trip. Last summer, a group of friends were camping at Smith Mountain Lake when one of their friends, Josh George, became unresponsive after laying down for a nap. Upon finding their friend unresponsive, they thought quickly to call 911. Miss Teen Traeger, a communications officer for Bedford County Dispatch, answered their call and, after asking a few questions, directed the group to start performing CPR. One complicating factor was that the group's location on the lake was unknown. Because of this, the group had to keep up CPR for 20 to 30 minutes in the very hot weather while dispatchers used GPS on the caller's phone to find them. Miss Dean instructed them on how to take turns to keep from getting tired, and when the fire department arrived, Josh had a heartbeat and was breathing on his own. In addition to the heroic acts that saved their friend, this group has used the attention they received to speak out about the importance of being trained in CPR. Congratulations to the 2021 Citizen in Action Award winners, Joshua Martin, McKenzi Vail, Drreck Olivaro, Gina Roshell, and Jordan Jacobs.
Hello, Kathleen here again. I'm honored to introduce our next speaker, Congressman Richard Hudson. On behalf of the Institute, I'd like to welcome Congressman Hudson as the new co-chair of the Congressional Next Gen 911 Caucus. We thank Congressman Hudson for his dedication to Next Generation 911, and we look forward to working closely to promote the deployment of advanced and effective 911. It is my honor to now welcome Congressman Hudson for his keynote address.
Hi, this is Congressman Richard Hudson. I wish we could all be together in person today, but as the co-chair of the Next Generation 911 Caucus, I am honored to help recognize all of this year's winners at the 18th Annual 911 Honor Awards. As 911 telecommunicators and leaders in the 911 field, you all play a vital role in saving lives each and every day, and especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. This year's been tough on everyone, but unlike many others, 911 telecommunicators can't take a day off. You are truly essential workers and have shown incredible dedication throughout this past year. The Next Gen 911 Caucus is a bipartisan group dedicated to supporting your work and implementing updated infrastructure that we need in order to protect public safety and save lives. Even in these divisive times, I'm glad that this issue is one we can unite Republicans and Democrats, and this can be a bipartisan accomplishment. I'm so proud to help lead our caucus, and I look forward to working with you and my colleagues on Next Gen 911. Once again, thank you all for what you do for our communities, and congratulations to today's winners. God bless you.
It is my honor to posthumously award Robert Bloom, Bob to most of us, the Carla Anderson Heart of 911 Award. As described by his peers, Bob was intelligent, humorous, an avid learner of technology, with a passion and enthusiasm for evolving public safety innovation. He was the essence of what the Carla Anderson Heart of 911 Award stands for. The city of Alexandria and the entire 911 community lost a true public safety champion when Bob passed away as the result of a car accident on the morning of July 20th, 2020. Bob was both a visionary and a teacher, a spark plug for all of us who were and will always remain his students. With a public safety career spanning over 30 years, Bob's resume tells the story of a man always intent on learning more, doing more, and most importantly, serving more. He assisted his community in implementing nearly every advancement in 911 technology, time and time again demonstrating best practices wrapped in the love he had for public safety. He was fearless about new technology, while also diligent and careful in executing its adoption. In the early days of COVID-19 last year, true to his mission, he and Renee Gordon at the Department of Emergency Communications deployed Alexandria's 911 and 311 remote call taker and dispatcher program, allowing call takers and dispatchers to work from home. Their efforts earned national attention, changing forever the art of the possible for communications center personnel. Bob's dedication to the health and safety of his call takers is just one part of his long legacy in public safety. Bob has been and will remain a role model for all of us. He left an indelible mark on our industry, on those he served alongside, and on those he served. May we applaud him now for his courage and wisdom, and remain forever grateful for his contribution to 911. Thank you, Bob. This year's recipient of the Carla Anderson Heart of 911 Award.
Bob Bloom was a visionary public safety leader in the National Capital Region. Bob was a trailblazer in every aspect of his life and career. He worked as a public safety telecommunicator and communications analyst for the Baltimore Police Department for nearly a decade. He also made a cameo appearance in the 2004 film Ladder 49, working in the Baltimore Fire Command Post vehicle. In 2016, Bob became the Public Safety Systems Administrator for the City of Alexandria Department of Emergency and Customer Communications. It was with the City of Alexandria that he made perhaps his most significant contribution to public safety, leading Alexandria to become the first city in the United States to enable its dispatchers and call takers to answer 911 and 311 calls from home during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bloom was regarded as a leader in public safety telecommunications. He received his Registered Public Safety Leader designation and Certified Public Safety Executive designation. He was also an Emergency Number Professional, ENP, with the National Emergency Number Association. Congratulations to winner of the 2021 Carla Anderson Heart of 911 Award, Bob Bloom.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for being creative with us. Thanks for being patient with us. Thanks for sticking it through to the end. It's been a challenging year, and most importantly, congratulations again to all the award recipients. Truly well-deserved. You guys just are all quite inspiring to all of us. We're at a really unique moment in history for 911. There is legislation pending before Congress that may fund NG911 infrastructure nationwide to the tune of $15 billion with a B. It's a mission that the Institute has championed for years, and it's one that hopefully is close to actually becoming a reality. If you're looking to get more involved, whether it's with the Institute, on Capitol Hill, whatever the case may be, please reach out. It's an important time. It's a time where your voice can be heard and truly could make a difference. Whether you want to run for a seat on our board in October, or perhaps participate in a virtual lunch and learn panel before then, or just volunteer to reach out to your local elected officials. Anything can help and may make a big difference. So please don't hesitate to reach out. The other thing you can do is if you're looking to just stay informed about what's going on in Washington, feel free to sign up for our newsletter and follow us on social media. we will be better about keeping those things populated moving forward. But please do not hesitate to make sure you're on those mailing lists and reach out. And just a final thank you to our sponsors. It was a challenging year, but as I mentioned, we are on the precipice of some very unique federal legislation that could provide some significant funding and allow us to make substantial upgrades to NG911 infrastructure nationwide. We wouldn't find ourselves in this position without your help and support, your energy and your tireless efforts. So thank you. And we're almost there, but let's keep going. And then just one final congratulations to our award recipients. It's the highlight of the year for the Institute to be able to do these honor awards. I very much look forward to being in person next year and not only honoring the award recipients next year, but hopefully giving the award recipients from this year their moment in the sun also. But until we can be together on Capitol Hill in person, let me know if you'd like to get more involved, and stay safe, stay in touch, and appreciate your time. And thank you for joining us today.